I'm scary now. I've seen so much scary clown hype over the last couple weeks because of the release of the new It movie, the remake that just came out of Stephen King's It. And I just want to give my 2 cents on what I think about this scary clown phenomenon that's so pervasive in the media today. Obviously, I'm not afraid of clowns myself, and I never have been. But I've always been curious as to why people are afraid of clowns. And more specifically, I'm curious as to why people who are afraid of clowns generally aren't afraid of puddles. I've seen so many comments of people saying, I hate clowns except for puddles. Why is that? And before we even get started, I want to make a clarification. When I use the word clown, I'm talking about this and not this. This is not a clown. This is a distortion created by Hollywood, specifically designed to terrorize. Fear of these evil clowns isn't necessarily a fear of clowns as much as it is a fear of harm. Case in point, if a little old lady walked out of a dark woods carrying a plate of cookies and a knife and started hauling after you, you would run. And it's not because you're afraid of grandmas. It's because somebody is chasing you with a knife. It's self-preservation. If somebody's threatening you or pursuing you with malicious intent, I would hope you would try and get away from them, regardless of how they're dressed. That's just common sense. Fearing people or things that are obviously out to do you harm is completely understandable, basic, doesn't require a lot of explanation. I can absolutely see why people are afraid of evil, murderous clowns, because evil and murder are things that you should be afraid of, but the vast majority of clowns out there are not evil. So when I'm talking about people who are afraid of clowns, I'm not going to focus so much on the people that are out watching a horror movie for a jump scare. I'm talking more about people who are afraid of traditional clowns. There are some people out there that have never been to McDonald's because that's where Ronald lives. And that's the fear I'll be picking apart today. So what's scary about Bozo? Or any other traditional circus clown? Well, I'm no psychologist or anything like that, and I've never been afraid of clowns myself, but I can kind of see why people would be. And I think it all comes down to 2 things: perception and recognition. And what I mean by that is that we all have a little part in our brain that recognizes familiar things, and people, things, it just checks them off as normal, not normal. And when you look at a clown like Bozo, there's an awful lot of not normal there. For starters, most clowns have some very exaggerated features. The big red nose, the giant lips, the crazy multicolored hair, enormous feet. And when your brain sees that, it can be interpreted as something foreign or alien. It'll throw up a caution saying, this isn't calculating, be careful of that. But personally, I think it is the painted on facial expressions that are the biggest creep factor for people who are afraid of clowns, particularly the painted on smile, because we all know that nobody is that happy all the time. And when you see that expression fixed on somebody's face, it sends all kinds of warning bells off in your subconscious. For example, imagine if a stranger, not a clown, just an average Joe off the street stranger, walked up and sat next to you on a park bench like this. Would your first thought be, what a lovely person. I think I should invite them to my child's birthday party. No. You're gonna say, there is something seriously wrong with this person. Back away slowly. But that's essentially the same vibe that clowns give off when they paint a big smile on their face. Either that or you can see the smile on their face, but they're not smiling underneath. And that sends a message to your brain that says, there is a discrepancy here. This person is duplicitous. I cannot trust them. And I think another big reason why people are so uneasy around clowns is because of their unpredictability. Clowns can get away with some wildly inappropriate behavior just because they're clowns. I watched a video online last week where a couple clowns were being interviewed about the It movie that just came out, and they were talking to a reporter about how it portrays clowns in a bad light, about how professional clowns, their livelihood is being threatened because nobody wants to hire them anymore. And they were in full clown getup, head to toe. They were in their costumes and makeup and everything. And one of the clowns had a long, like a synthetic duster, like one of those static dusters in his hand. And he was talking to the reporter, and the reporter's asking him things, and they're talking all serious. And then he just reaches over and starts running that duster all over the reporter's head. She was like mid-sentence, and she's like, okay, now I'm scared. And it was pretty funny because it was so unexpected, but at the same time it was like, dude, you're not really helping your case there. But could you seriously see anybody else doing that on live TV? Mr. Mayor, how do you plan to resolve next year's budget cuts? Well, Diane. Boop, 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 boop. It's ridiculous. But clowns can do it because they're clowns. And it's that unpredictability around clowns that really causes a lot of people some anxiety. They see a clown and they think, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna throw a pie at me? Is he gonna spray me with seltzer? Is he gonna bonk me on the head with a feather duster? You never know. And it's that not knowing that's a huge stressor for some people. So why are so many people who are afraid of clowns in general not afraid of Puddles? I can only tell you what I think. But I think, going over the points that I've already gone over, firstly, Puddles doesn't have any exaggerated features. He is a giant, but all of his features are proportional. He doesn't wear a rubber nose. His mouth is the right size, and it's exactly where it should be on his face. He doesn't have any off-color hair, or any hair, and he doesn't wear oversized shoes. And he doesn't have any discrepancies in his expression. His makeup is sad, his mouth is sad, his eyes are sad. His entire face says sad. I think most people's brains, when they see his face, would register sad human. And just a side note from an artist's perspective, I think a part of why people aren't as put off by him is because of his color palette. Whereas most clowns wear very bright, vibrant, clashing colors, even like plaids with florals, and just, it's basically an assault on your eyes. But Puddles' color palette is very subtle. He's pretty much just all white. And that's all white with me. Seriously though, some of the younger fans don't even realize that he is a clown. They think he's a snowman. Yeah, he's like Frosty. Put a crown on his head and he comes to life and starts singing and dancing around. Personally, I think the all white is a very calming color, especially when the lights are shining down on him. He's like Angel Clown, ministering to the masses. But all things said, I really think Puddles is in a category all by himself, because he can connect with people in a completely different way than any other clowns that I've seen, and that's through the music. The music can take a brain that's confused or cautious and relate to it in a way that nothing else can. And I think that that is why fewer people are afraid of Puddles than of regular clowns. But whether you're afraid of clowns or not, try to remember that clowns are people. And people should be judged on what they do and not by what they are. There are a lot of clowns out there doing a lot of good. They're trying to make the world a better place, and Puddles is the best of them. And I will personally vouch for him any day of the week. So that's what I think. I could be wrong. I'm not afraid of clowns, so I can't say why people are afraid of clowns. If you are afraid of clowns, leave me a comment letting me know why. Why are clowns scary? Are you afraid of Puddles? Are you not? If you are, why? If you're not, why not? I'd be curious to see what y'all have to say. But I will say to give clowns a chance. They're not all bad. And Puddles is the best. And as always, I'm going to put all of his links down in the description. Go look him up if you haven't yet. And check his tour dates out. He's always adding new tour dates, puddlespittyparty.com. And I'll talk to you later.